Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Sankriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, PM wants urgent investigation into previous sugar mill dealings. Rumbuka's motions defeated in Parliament. A national budget given green light.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Prime Minister and Minister for Sugar Vurenge Bainimarama has called for an investigation into the dealings of the STM company that was responsible for mill upgrades in 2005. It comes almost 14 years after what has been described as the deal that ruined our sugar industry. Bainimarama told Parliament that a report will be out soon to launch an investigation into the financial losses of more than $150 million that the Fiji Sugar Corporation incurred. Maggie Boyle with the story.
It's a deal that almost broke the sugar sector and one that government is now looking to pick apart.
There will be a report coming out, Honourable Speaker, on the STM project that brought about Exim Bank funding received for $50.4 million, and the contract was signed in November 2005.
While the work contract was signed in January of 2006, protracted delays and execution meant work went on until June 2010.
But total STM project cost finally capitalized by FSC was $118 million in 2010-2011 financial year. There will be an investigation into this, Honourable Speaker, as we have spent a lot of money on something that was totally useless. The total losses to FSC came to $154 million.
The investigation to be launched soon will delve into an agreement some 14 years ago between FSC and the STM Projects Company, which looked to promise upgrades to several sugar mills. Instead, what it left was inferior quality parts and substantial financial losses. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Opposition leader Sitiveni Rumbuka's petition was thrown out after Speaker Ratuepeli Nailatikau ruled against it, saying it was out of order. Rumbuka's two petitions was for Parliament to approve an International Year for Indigenous Languages and the review of travel bans. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Delivering his ruling on Rumbuka's first petition for an International Year of Indigenous Language, Ratuepeli Nailatikau says Parliament can't declare such a thing, as this is only done by the United Nations.
The petition is clearly an attempt to get Parliament to take action that is not within the powers of Parliament to take. In that regard, this petition cannot be allowed under Standing Order 37(2)(b).
Ratuepeli says the second petition to review the travel ban is clearly an attempt to try and get Parliament to take action on something that is not within their powers.
It is also important to highlight that it is not for Parliament to direct nor instruct the exercise of the executive authority when a written law expressly gives the power and authority to the executive.
Opposition MP Linda Tambuya questioned the ruling. However, Ratuepeli says the decision is final.
The only error in that petition was that a date was not provided for the celebration of the Day for Indigenous Languages.
There is no question on the ruling that I've made.
Ratuepeli says the ruling speaks for itself and MPs can go back and examine the details of the ruling. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The 2019-2020 national budget was passed in Parliament last night. After 4 days of robust debate and clarifications from both sides of the House, the budget passed will initiate a new financial year from August 1st. Koroi Tandulala reports.
There being 27 ayes and 24 nays.
Fiji's 2019-2020 national budget is now ready to be put into action.
A bill for an act to appropriate a sum of $3,434,407,892 for the ordinary services of government for the year ending 31 July 2020, Bill number 7 of 2019, enacted by the Parliament of the Republic of Fiji.
Honourable members, Parliament has now passed the 2019-2020 budget.
Speaker of Parliament Ratu Epeli Nailatikau commending the members for their contribution towards the deliberation on the 2019-2020 budget.
I thank all honourable members for your contributions to this significant and integral process.
A number of consequential bills was added to this year's budget. A robust and at times heated debate was experienced in the week-long session, which has now come to an end, and it's time for the state to put the money to where it was allocated. Corey Tandulala, FBC News.
Government's plans to have a special economic zone in Wairambetia in Lautoka will now be shifted to Navutu in Lautoka. This was highlighted by Minister for Industry and Trade Pramila Kumar while responding to a question by opposition MP Seri Randrondro. Lena Rees has more.
The question whether work on the development of the special economic zone has been completed was raised in Parliament.
For special economic zone, as for development of economic zone, can we get a clarification whether the allocation reduction means that special economic zone development has been completed and halfway into completion, or what's the status now?
The Wairambetia Economic Zone was planned to be a modern zone that would have tax breaks, investment allowances and subsidies to attract investors.
In this case, the initial scoping exercise was done, and from this scoping exercise, that is the pre-feasibility study, it was revealed that that site can be very costly. So for that reason, we have changed the site to Navutu. There'll be low development cost.
The zone is intended to attract investment in the ICT, audiovisual, light manufacturing, and high-end retail sectors. Lena Rees, FBC News.
As the Health Ministry works with its U.S. partners to determine the cause of deaths involving U.S. couple David and Michelle Paul, speculation remains an insidious issue. Minister Dr. Firemi Wangai-Nambete is calling on the people to stop discussing the matter on social media without genuine facts and to show respect to the deceased couple's family. Kelly Vadala reports.
It's speculations like these across various social media platforms that generates false information and instills fear amongst people.
We don't want to be tied into the speculation because we are professionals. We are also mindful that there are moral and ethical issues that we need to adhere to, but also the fact that the best way to show respect to the couple and to the family.
Health Minister Dr. Firemi Wangai-Nambete says Fiji is in the clear as the latest investigation ruled out viral and bacterial causes of death.
Using all the scientific evidence that's available and in discussing and collaborating with our partners. And that's what we've done. And I'm pleased to say that at this moment in time, we've unturned all the stones that could be done. It's been a thorough process, and it is shown that there is no significant infectious agent.
The minister says there's a lot of queries from the public regarding the death of 38-year-old David and 35-year-old Michelle Paul, who arrived into the country on the 22nd of last month, but further tests are still being carried out. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Still to come, over $3 million paid in accident compensation, and work on Tamavoi Y Bridge begins. Details after the break.
Bula, na vango malakay leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sir.
Hoya uvasit sai sa Ilambasa, ya untuk talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sir.
Guya Dr. Meli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sir.
Warong tuma ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sir, nambang.
Na vango fani na tao no singa toka, kita untuk talita kana Bula FM, nambang dua na sir.
Bula FM, nambang dua na sir.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has paid tribute to the late Philippe Mbole. Mbole, who was a reputable minister over so many years, passed away on Wednesday. Bainimarama says he was met with deep remorse upon learning the passing away of a man with great honour and integrity. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka and National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad have also paid tribute to the late Philippe Mbole in Parliament today. Mbole entered politics and served as Minister for Education in 1986 and 1987 and was also Deputy Prime Minister for a short time in 1993. In the 2001 elections, Mbole led the campaign of the Fijian political party, but it failed to win any seats. His funeral service will be held tomorrow. $3.52 million have been paid out by the Accident Compensation Commission to date. The payout is for 60 successful applications of motor vehicle accidents. Sainani Mboila reports.
Over 500 applications relating to motor vehicle accidents have been received by the Accident Compensation Commission so far, which includes 437 injury cases and 74 deaths.
The scheme is designed to remove the unreasonable hurdles that victims of accidents previously faced in pursuit of compensation. And this included lengthy and costly legal battles, the burden of proving fault, and of course unreasonable exclusions that they faced, and uncertainty of outcomes because they had no idea which way legal battles, etc., would actually go.
The Commission Chief Executive says 40 applications have been declined, while 411 are still being looked at.
These would be because they may have fallen under one of our exclusions. Our Act has some exclusions, for example, drink driving or driving under the influence of drugs, not paying your motor vehicle accident levy, your license not matching the class of the vehicle, etc. So they would have fallen under one of the exclusions. The other reason sometimes an application is declined is if they don't meet the time threshold.
The Accident Compensation Commission also begins compensating for personal injuries and deaths from employment and schools this year. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Prep work to replace the Tamavoiwai Bridge outside Suva has begun. This bridge is identified as one of the critical bridges, a major link between the capital city and Lami along the Queen's Road. Pranita Prakash reports the actual construction will begin in August.
Being one of the critical bridges between Suva and Lami, its deteriorating state has often raised questions.
There's been a lot of misunderstanding about the bridge. I keep getting requests for information about the Bailey Bridge we're building there. It's not a Bailey Bridge. This is a permanent, 100-year life designed concrete bridge.
The clearing of this piece of land began last week, bringing relief to many commuters. Jonathan Mua says the new bridge will be a few meters away from the existing one.
The idea is we build this first bridge, it's 2 lanes, and then once this first bridge is operational, we take out the old bridge and then clear the supports and the abutments, and the new bridge is built in its place. So we'll have 2 lanes and 2 lanes, so it'll help us with the 4-laning work we want to do between Suva and Lami.
The new bridge will be completed by April next year. The FRA chief executive says majority of the work will be carried out off the road, and Fijians can expect minimal disruption to traffic during the construction phase. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Preparations for the first ever FBC Tech Trade Show is ongoing, and most of the companies are looking forward to the event. FBC Events team leader Ruby Solanki says 48 companies will be part of the first of its kind show. Catherine Krishna with this report.
FBC Tech Trade Show will provide a platform to create awareness and market local companies to Fijians.
We've actually sold out all our booth. We've got about 48 tech-savvy companies that have actually registered for the tech show, and we begin build this Sunday. The exhibitors are actually checking in on Tuesday to do their setup.
Managing Director for All Tech Business Supplies, Matthias Kwan Singh says, as a young company, they look forward to the show.
So we will be present in the show to expose our great brands and mainly to be recognized and to inspire. We will be showcasing the fastest digital printer in the world, which speeds up to 190 copies per minute. And also we will launch the first in Fiji, mosquito repellent ink on paper. If you want to know more, please come and visit us at our Alltech booth.
The 4-day FBC Tech Trade Show starts next Thursday at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. Fijians who want to benefit from this show can visit booths and get more information on the showcased products. Catherine Krishnaiv, BC News.
It's that time of the season again, and mandarins are a common sight all over Fiji. But this time around, the consumers are having to dig a little deeper into their pockets for this delicious seasonal fruit. Savara Tambor visited the supermarket today to learn more about this delicious and sometimes sweet fruit.
Something that each one of us enjoys, peeling a mandarin, but this time around, to enjoy this juicy peel is costing more than usual.
I think the price of this fruit is too expensive, and the vendors should keep the price at $1 a heap.
I believe vendors allocate the prices due to their satisfactions, so we can't do much. If it's $3 or $5, that's it.
However, the vendors have justified the price hike, saying it's all about satisfying the demand but also making a profit.
If we sell these mandarins for $1 a heap, we will not earn any interest because the cost of carrier from our village to Suva is $600, so that's why we have increased the price.
Well, I can say that the size of our mandarin oranges is big, and if we sell it for $1, it will be a waste.
Some are not happy with the prices. Many are just enjoying this seasonal fruit and getting the much needed vitamin C dosage. Savara Tambua, FBC News.
Later in sports with Jamie, get all the latest from the Women's Football World Cup. But first, Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. Fiji Airways dedicates win to hard-working staff. And in growing Fiji, FMF Foods Limited expands into the UK market. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Yeni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, the award received by Fiji Airways during the 2019 Star Trek World Airline Awards is an indication the airline is competing in the big league. Speaking during a press conference today on the airline's achievement, Chief Executive Andre Filion acknowledged the hard work and dedication put in by staff. Felipe Nakaso has more.
A target set 4 years ago, finally achieved, but the journey has been described as tough.
So what happens with Skytrax is they rely on customer feedback, but they also audit as well. So they do these mystery auditors, surprises, you don't know about it. They pitch up and they check everything, right from when you take a reservation to check in at the counter, on board, basically service on board, arrival, and they check it out.
It was also a proud moment for the general manager for Fiji Link and the flight attendants who were in Paris to receive the awards.
I mean, this is the Oscars of the aviation awards, and it was great. Yeah, and people were like, oh yeah, Fiji Airways, you know.
The awards picked up by Fiji Airways at the Paris awards ceremony is an indication of the airline punching above its weight.
And for Fiji Airways to achieve this is a testimony of the hard work and dedication of the executives in the company and all the staff.
The Skytrax World Airline Awards is one of the most sought-after quality accolades for airlines. The airline has now jumped from 4th to 1st place to become the best airline staff in Australia Pacific. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the economic world.
The US dollar lost quite a bit of love after the US Federal Reserve joined global peers with plans to cut interest rate to support flagging economic growth. The dollar could face a period of prolonged selling pressure, as indicated by the decline in benchmark 10-year Treasury yields below 2% and a rise in gold prices close to 6-year high. The focus now turns to whether the US and China can resolve their trade conflict at a Group of 20 Leaders Summit in Osaka next week. Meanwhile, the Bank of England warned the economic outlook for the UK is also weakening. However, it left its key interest rate unchanged at 0.75%. The central bank reiterated that gradual and limited rate hikes would be needed over the next 3 years to keep inflation to its 2% target. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to today's exchange rates as was set this morning. A fairly good day for the Fiji dollar as it made some gains against 5 of the 7 currencies we cover, going up against the Chinese yuan, the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, as well as the euro and the Japanese yen. However, our dollar slipped slightly against the US greenback and the PNG kina. On to the commodities market, the upward trend continues. Oil prices rose, closing at $57 per barrel. Gold went up again, ending the day at $1,406 per ounce, and silver closed at $15.48 per ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, after a lapse of 3 years, FMF Foods Limited is once again exporting a range of products to the UK market. These products include the FMF breakfast crackers, chow noodles, and the Thumbs Up chips range, particularly its Dalo and cassava chips to the UK market. FMF says now Fijians residing in the UK and other Pacific islands can once again get a piece of home in a form of the FMF products. And that's a wrap from the Business Desk for this week. Jamie's up next, and he actually has all the very latest ahead of the provincial rugby final tomorrow.
That's right, Rachel. Suva and Naranga meet in another Skipper Cup final at ANZ Stadium tomorrow afternoon. We hear from both teams after the break, as well as Mikaele Ravalawa on his life struggles before making it big in the NRL. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
While Naranga didn't have the best of starts to the 2019 season, they're in a position to get the best finish. At one point this year, the traditional Fijian rugby giants looked like they were going to endure the most miserable season ever, but they managed to turn things around. Now the focus is reclaiming the Skipper Cup title against Suva tomorrow. Apinisa Wangai Rundovu with more.
Despite the struggles of this season, Nandronga is ready to bounce back, and they have taken plenty of positive from its semi-final win over Naitasiri.
One thing in certain, we are both playing in the final. This is a game that both teams will be putting all that they have on the table. They'll be putting their bodies on the line. Suva wants to defend the skipper, and Bilkir Nandro wants to take that skipper, to bring the skipper back home, since losing it last year.
Suva, on the other hand, will not be easy beats as they have been unbeaten right throughout the season so far.
We have a lot of young players, capable players, to continue with whatever we have been doing throughout the skipper season this season.
The Skipper Cup final between Nandronga and Suva will be played at the ANZ Stadium at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Apeni Sawangirindobu, FBC Sports.
Fijian Latui coach Senirusi Serabakula has retained his core players in the forwards led by skipper Mosese Voka and experienced number 8 Penny Reinre. 2 changes have been made in the back line with John Stewart coming in at wing and Cyril Reed starting at inside centre. Captain Mosese Voka says the morale in camp is high and the players are ready for the tough encounter against the unbeaten Force in front of their home crowd. The Swai shipping Fijian Latui take on the Western Force at 11:40 tonight. The Crusaders have named their full-strength team for the first time this season as Super Rugby's pace-setters take their quest for a third straight title and 10th in all into the competition's knockout phase. The cold Sydney, Australia weather could disrupt play a bet for the Vodafone Fiji Mbati tomorrow. The National Rugby League team takes on Lebanon in its Pacific International Test match. Following the captain's run this afternoon, Coach Brandon Costin says they know what to expect both from the pitch and their opponents.
I don't think it's going to be a big problem, but playing it around 5:30, there's going to be a little bit of dew, there's going to be a little bit of moisture around. We're really going to have to control the ball. I think Lebanon are going to be very dangerous with their halves. So we need to make sure we keep the ball away from them.
The squad's going to be very helpful for not only our journey leading forward, but for the younger Fiji Bati players as well, getting their opportunity to represent their country for the first time on Saturday.
From seeing his parents struggle on a daily basis and going without food to being hot property in the National Rugby League in Australia. Such was the case for Vodafone Fiji Mbati winger Mikaele Ravalawa. The 21-year-old from Sirua is one of the best wingers in the NRL this season, with 7 tries scored in 12 games for the St. George Illawarra Dragons. It'll be an emotional and historical moment for the Vodafone Fiji Women's Rugby League side tomorrow. The Fijian Mbulikula will play their first test ever since the sport was introduced in the country 27 years ago. Niraj Maharaj reports.
This will be the Fijian Bulikula, and when they run out against Papua New Guinea tomorrow, it will be for the future of women's rugby league in the country.
You know, we're going to make history. We want to set the standard. We want to set the benchmark so that, you know, the upcoming young girls that watch us play, the young girls of Fiji can say, you know what, one day I can take on the world and represent my country. And, you know, it's an opportunity. It's a message out there to our country.
It will be more than just a rugby match for these pioneers, which includes 2 Olympians in Tima Ravisa and Chioana Sauto. This means the team have few leaders who have already been exposed to the top level.
And we certainly have got some really good leaders in our side, and they've really shown the way from the very first session. They were the ones that spoke up, took the Shire girls under their arms and really encouraged them to train hard and do the right thing, and it's been amazing.
The Mbulikula will play the PNG Orchids at 3:40 p.m. in New South Wales tomorrow. Niraj Maharaj, FBC Sports.
And you can catch coverage of that match live on FBC Sports at 5:40 p.m. tomorrow. Athletics Fiji sectional manager Joseph Roden Jr. says none of the athletes have had to pay levies from their own pockets for recent and future competitions. Roden Jr. says taking care of athletes' levies is something the current Athletics Fiji executives prides itself on. 8 athletes from Team Fiji will be heading for the Oceania Championship in Townsville, Australia next week ahead of the Pacific Games.
Time in the past, where athletes have had to put out money to pay for their own levy to represent the country. So when the executives came in 2014, the current batch of executives, they made it their business that athletes didn't pay their levy. That was something responsibility of the federation. So, and the manager and the managers who normally take on board the responsibility of the team.
The United States continued their impressive run in their Women's World Cup title defense, beating rival Sweden 2-0 to top Group F. Both sides were already assured of their places in the last 16, but the USA added to their 13-0 and 3-0 wins over Thailand and Chile with another strong performance. In another match, Cameroon beat New Zealand 2-1 to reach the last 16 of the World Cup, where they will face England. In other games, Chile beat Thailand 2-0, while the Netherlands overcame Canada 2-1. David Warner's accomplished 166 was the bedrock for a 48-run win that took holders Australia top of the World Cup table and damaged Bangladesh's chances of making the semi-finals. Warner found some explosive form late on to push Australia to their second highest World Cup score of 381 for 5. That's it from sports tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather and in new media. Big changes expected in the 2020 iPhone. Details after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबोलुम्बुआ से जैसे ट्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फिजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन
Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What a great start to our Friday. Our country definitely tops the list when it comes to weather. Such an exciting day with more exciting conditions that really puts you in the weekend mood. Wow, we actually made it. Now taking a look in the west, there was a sharp contrast in the temperatures which made the day more humid. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, warm air dragged through the day. We can expect a chilly night though. And up north, very settled weather pattern, amazing sunshine. At sea, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 9:58 p.m. with low tide at 3:46 a.m. Sunrise at 6:37. For tomorrow, the country can expect sunny spells with occasional passing showers, which shouldn't be a problem. Tomorrow's temps in most centers will be cool at 27 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, showers will start hovering but will ease later in the day, as we see for now. So have a marvelous weekend. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, which team are you supporting for Super Rugby?
Actually, I support Crusaders because there's one old friend of mine. We school together at school. Silver is playing for Crusaders. I support him because I like the way he plays.
I'll be supporting Crusaders.
My favorite team is Crusaders. I'll be supporting Crusaders.
Of course, Crusaders all the way.
I am supporting Crusaders because I have one of their jerseys.
I'm supporting Highlanders because I love them all.
The sugar mill dealings. Rumbuka's motions defeated in Parliament and national budget given green light. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking, should municipal councils take a lead role in capturing stray dogs? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our final shot of the day and for this week is this sunset shot captured from the fish restaurant at Marriott Hotel by Mere Sokula in Nandi. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news, #FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas on rong nam Bula FM, namban dua ena sere.
Hoya uvasit sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong ina Bula FM namba 2 ena sere.
Gue ada tumeli aku ena tau no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong na Bula FM namba 2 ena sere.
Wana tuna na Bula FM namba 2 ena sere nawaluan.
Na evango fane na tau no singa toka. Kita ndo talita kana Bula FM namba 2 ena sere.
Bula FM namba 2 ena sere.